Hello and welcome to this short tutorial on how to defend small settlements in Total War Saga Troy, or perhaps I should say how I defend small settlements in Total War Saga Troy. This is the approach I have been using for every single defense battle in small cities basically, and it works pretty much every time. Of course you can always get too outnumbered, but I think we have a good example right here, and there are variations to it, like the city map. This one is actually slightly harder than the other one, because this one has only 3 entry points, which you could argue it's slightly easier to defend. But as you can see, when you're facing a full stack like this, the enemy is set up to attack every single choke point. In the other settlement you can always find an opening to get a couple of your troops around and start hammering them from behind. Future This is Total War here. This is what I mean with the other small city map layout, that it being easier, because they usually divide themselves in 2 forces on this one, and you can easily just hold the choke point here, bring these troops straight off the bat around. Just be a bit cautious not approaching too fast. You need them to commit. You don't need much here to hold, because they won't need to be holding here for too long before these guys arrive if you time it correctly. And this force will attack this choke point and this choke point. I barely never see anyone swing around in the open area here. So again, spearmen, your hero to back up, and a javelin man to, in case these guys break, just being able to hold this choke point for long enough for you to break these guys and get the other people back. So this is a good example. Okay, so how do I approach battles then? Because there are this is basically what you have when you defend, and there are of course variations to this, but more or less your garrison is the same, I would say. You have your heavier units, in our case the spearmen, and you have some of those young spears, at least this is early game of course, and you have a couple of those arcane slingers and such, and a couple of javelin throwers and Aeginian javelin men. We have a Aeginian runner as well, so this is our faction unique units here. But I try to identify which of these 3 enemy forces is the weakest, and in this case I judge that this one is, because they only have militia this way, which is a really weak unit. They only have 1 arcane slinger, so they lack range slightly here, but they do have the javelin throwers. Over here they have only 2 militia and 1 spearman, and 2 of those arcane slingers. So yeah, perhaps we should go here, as they have only have 3 infantry. I thought I saw one here actually just a second ago. I'm not too sure. There might be one in hiding, I don't know. But the range of these guys can cause trouble, so that's why we are going to go from here. And I try, and of course they have the strongest part over here with their hero and their spearmen and young spears, which actually has pretty decent early game damage. So we are placing 1 spearman accompanied by our hero, where they are the strongest, because the hero can hold out pretty much, especially as this one is a defender, they can hold out slightly better in my experience. Over here we only have 1 unit of spearmen, but we do have the javelin men here. The reason to that is I'm going to move these ones a bit closer, or the spearmen's a bit closer here, where the choke point is the narrowest, and the Aeginian javelin men and javelin men in general also have at least some melee capability if you compare to the arcane slingers. So if these guys would break, they could put up a fight and at least hold out, and this is a key point here. Your choke points must hold for you long enough to be able to beat, in our case, these guys, and then be able to move around and attack them from behind and start causing the mass break. I think I got that point clear. We have spared one Arcane Slinger here. We are moving 3 of them outside. I have seen that if I use all 4, it gets a bit too messy. These guys, we're using our attacking capability we do have, and some damaged spearmen, just because bring up the numbers over on this flank. If they are particularly strong, you could use 1 more spearman to either of these choke points if you want to. In this case, I reckon we could do better by using the damaged units here, so we can match up and swing around these guys as well. So we are going to bring those guys out and hopefully destroy them and then proceed. Yeah, that's basically it. It's nothing too fancy. You need to have some timing and you have to move on the get-go. You can't just stay and hold the choke points and grind out the victory. And of course you can, but I have found that that is not as effective, especially on legendary difficulty. That approach could be very, very punishing. But I think it's enough talking and we should start moving. What we should do, which I haven't done, is to put these guys on guard mode. Same thing here. You can just stay like that. And start battle. Get them moving. Push these guys up a tiny bit. And your general close by, but not too close. You don't want to blob the units of any, even the slightest. You can stay like that. That's okay. Okay, we are facing them head on. Get around. Slingers, start working on those guys. You need to start flanking around. Come on, come on, come on. Yep, take care of them.
Your warriors have spotted hidden foes.
And here we can hopefully start causing a... They are already... induce them to start chasing. Let them do the work. We might actually need to bring them back. Focus fire on them. They are wavering. And attack them in the back. How are we looking here? Yes, they are proceeding as planned. I want to move him up a tiny bit more. Can't spend any time over there. I want you to attack him. And now we need to keep these guys to stay routed. You could actually start moving this way just to reinforce. How are we damaging them? Not good enough. Turn your attention there. Yeah, get the slingers first. Yeah, you stay on them. They are only broken. They are shattered, so that's good. Should probably get you over here. Need to get them moving backwards. Yeah, they are broken, so hold back just a tiny bit. We don't want to draw these guys in.
Your warriors are losing heart.
Yeah, they are losing heart. Perhaps we should go here. Chase them off the map. They are shattered. Good. Continue to chase them. This is the thing with Troy, that it's slightly annoying.
Your warriors have been routed.
Which ones? Okay, so these guys are falling. We should still be good. We can place them up. Need them to break. Okay, so they are moving in now. So now it's soon time to start. No, they move back. But it's just no good, actually. So this could. They are standing in the woods. Okay, we could turn here. They are going to get out the map by this stage. Yes, and you're getting close to them. Yeah, and you two guys could start moving here, so we need to start taking ground. How are we going here? 133. Oh, the militia getting back. Start peppering them. Wavering. You're chasing them in the right direction at least. Start getting some ground. Broken. Shattered. Now let's start moving. Broken. I think you could start moving as well. They should be chased off the map either way. They shouldn't come back. Jokes could be on me. Okay, now we need to move. This is a bit troublesome. We might need to start switching them over here instead again. Yeah, just continue to chase him. We are getting 3 units over here. We might need to get this guy. You have to be conscious. But our hero is holding out good. We've already shattered those 2 guys, so let's... Actually, 1 unit should do the trick to break those guys. But we are breaking here. So, our plan is falling apart slightly, but... I think we can deal with it. And you hold, put on guard mode. Hold out choke point. Shattered. They are still broken. They are wavering. That's a bit worrisome, but we are going for Lycomedes in this case as well. So, yeah, you shouldn't even get to this point. Okay. Get over there. Yeah, he's wavering. Get it done with him. Broken, shattered, taken. So we need to stay on them. That's just how it is.
By Ares, your warriors are rallying.
Move back. Starts swinging around our hero. So we got under a tiny bit of pressure over here. But overall, and of course we perhaps could have done this slightly more efficient.
Is close enough to taste.
But I think you got the approach on how I do battles, and there's only small variations to this. So in this case we got the close victory, but a victory is a victory. If you're a bit more efficient, you could get the decisive one, but you could also very often get the Cadmean victory, especially when facing stronger stacks. But I hope you enjoyed this more in-depth sort of tutorial on how I approach small siege defenses. And I want to thank you very much for watching. Please leave that like if you enjoyed it, and subscribe if you haven't done that already and want to see more Total War madness. Until the next one, have a good one.